Unless you spent the entire summer of 2014 offline, you'll remember the viral ice bucket challenge. Everybody from Oprah Winfrey to Miley Cyrus took the challenge, which involved taking videos of themselves dumping buckets of ice water on their heads, sharing the footage online, and nominating others to do the same. But the most important step was donating to ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, research. Now, the ice bucket challenge is back in the news. Patrick Quinn, the co-founder of the challenge, has died at the age of 37 after his own 7-year battle with ALS, a progressive neurodegenerative disease that affects nerve cells in the brain and the spinal cord. It's also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, named after the famous baseball player who got the illness and retired in 1939 because of it. Doctors thought a California man had COVID-19, but it was actually murine typhus. Here's why is it so hard for some people to acknowledge racism. Here's what experts say. Celebrity trainer Jeanette Jenkins debunks the hashtag #StandUpChallenge. Everyone is feeling election stress right now in different ways. Here's why, and how to dia. A Colorado woman thought she had COVID, but it was actually Hanavirus. Here's how the simp. How long is a cold contagious? Here's what experts say. Dancing with the Stars celeb Jeannie Mai diagnosed with epiglottitis. Here's what to COVID-19 testing. Here's how often you should really be doing it. For chronically ill and disabled Americans share how they're voting this election. LeAnn Rimes shares photos showing her psoriasis. Here's what to know about this chronic ski. How Lovie Simone stopped running from her problems and confronting microaggressions in Hollywood. Celebrity deep dives. Health. This woman ended up with an abscess on her butt thanks to her too tight thong. But what is true crime stories are more popular than ever. Why are we so attracted to them? 90s flipped half up, half down ponytail, hair tutorial with Laura Polko, beauty scoop, health. This woman with metastatic breast cancer did her own research to find a clinical trial to fight the disease after seeing the challenge on the social media feed of the friends and family of the late Anthony Cernurcia, who had ALS. Quinn teamed up with Pete Frates, another ALS sufferer, to promote it to raise awareness of the disease. In 2015, the ALS Association honored Quinn, Frates, and Cernurcia as ALS heroes at their annual leadership conference. Cernurcia died in 2017, and Frates in 2019. ALS is a complex disease that's not yet fully understood by researchers and doctors. Here's what you need to know about it, along with why raising awareness for the condition is so important. The CDC estimated in 2016 that between 14,000 and 15,000 Americans have ALS, per the Nines. Men are slightly more likely than women to develop the disease, as are Caucasian and non-Hispanic people, and symptoms tend to show up most often between the ages of 55 and 75. The disease is often missed in the early stages, because the symptoms are subtle, per the Nines. Some early signs include muscle cramps or twitches in the arm, leg, shoulder, or tongue, tight and stiff muscles, slurred and nasal speech, and difficulty chewing or swallowing. Over time, these symptoms develop, leading to more noticeable weakness or atrophy, degeneration or shrinkage of muscle or nerve tissue. It's at this point that a doctor might suspect ALS. No matter where symptoms first appear, muscle weakness and atrophy spread to other areas as the disease progresses. Researchers continue to investigate a possible link between ALS and environmental factors, such as exposure to toxic or infectious agents, diet, viruses, and physical trauma. The Nines also states that, in addition to other risk factors like age, gender, and race and ethnicity, studies suggest that military veterans are 1.5 to 2 times more likely to develop the disease, possibly due to exposure to lead, pesticides, or other environmental toxins. According to the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke, most people with ALS die from respiratory failure, usually within 3 to 5 years from the first onset of symptoms. About 10% of people with ALS survive for 10 years or longer. Other medications can be prescribed to manage different symptoms, such as muscle cramps, stiffness, pain, drooling, and what's known as the pseudobulbar effect, involuntary or uncontrollable episodes of crying and/or laughing, or other emotional displays. The MDA says doctors may prescribe the drug dextromethorphan, quinidine, Nuedexta, or antidepressants to treat the pseudobulbar effect. Managing symptoms and maximizing quality of life are the key goals in an ALS treatment plan. This typically means combining prescribed medication with physical therapy, speech therapy, and nutritional support. When a patient's diaphragm and intercostal muscles, the muscles between the ribs, start to weaken, they might need breathing support, such as non-invasive ventilation. NIV breathing support that is usually delivered through a mask over the nose and/or mouth.